Lars, what are you doing with Chinnikov tonight in your lineup?
He's not in tonight, no. Not in tonight.
How tough is this for you, considering how much you made it clear that you want him to be active as much as possible? I think this is 5 in a row.
Well, it dictates. You know, the game dictates. We've had a good week here, 2-1-1, and guys are playing well. And when you go with accountability and guys who we talk about a lot, who deserves to be in and out, and right now I don't think anybody deserves to be out. So it's part of the patience, and we've talked a lot about it. I know where he's at. I know what his status is, and we communicate that with him. You know, this is part of the process with him too. You know, and when he gets in, just fight like heck to stay in. And this guy's going to be a really good hockey player. You know, it's not the end of the world. He's got to stretch here, and if we have to make a decision and he has to play some games, then we will. But we're well aware of where he's at in his games.
It's obviously different when you're on the road, especially when you're on the road in Canada.
Yeah.
Can you say if you were home, would he be in Cleveland?
No, I wouldn't. You can speculate and do all that, but that's part of it too. Like you said, when you're on the road and you have one extra, you got to be careful too and protect yourself. And now with this whole the COVID thing going on, I mean, you see the landscape changes real quick. So this is just part of the landscape that we are in. You know, especially when you're on the road, especially when you're across the border. So every day we're just manage it one day at a time, right?
With regard to that, Brett, how do you manage that with all the COVID stuff that's swirled around? It's got to be just an extra challenge. Eh?
You every day you just don't know, right? And you see the phone keeps popping up. Guys are getting sick and it's going around. So you just do what you can to manage it. You social distance. You do the stuff you can on our end, and then we go from there.
Is it also just a matter of business as usual, or trying to go about your business as usual? You hear about 2 Canucks players on the protocol.
Yeah, that's all you can do, right? You know, I heard there was a couple of Carolina guys too that are stuck here, and what do you do? I mean, like all we can do is try and take care of our end, and we try to keep it as normal as possible with doing the right things. You know, we play tonight.
Right, as the learning process that you've described before continues to roll out, how important is being able to pull a game out of the fire like you did in Seattle and start this trip the right way?
Yeah, you want it. Like I said, it wasn't. We had a real solid second, and then you know they get that the power play goal, kind of a tough one off a leg there, and then they got rolling. They scored again right after that. So sometimes you got to dig yourself out, and we were hanging on. We it wasn't like they came at us in waves, but we lost our aggressiveness. You know, we did get nervous. You could see it, and there's no hiding it. That's what it was. And so when you haven't won that many on the road, you want it so bad. We kind of sat back a bit, and we're an aggressive team. We have to play aggressive and smart aggressive, obviously. But we pulled it out, and that's good. You should feel good about winning on the road, and it was huge to get the first one.
Does that stuff build on itself? I mean, it would have to have that experience of, okay, we saved that when we pulled it out.
Well, it's games at 7,
Yeah.
ends around. I'll let you know. You know, did we learn something? Did we build up? I don't know. You know, we're playing a team that's hot right now. They're feeling good about themselves, and quite honestly, I've said it a number of times. They were the better team when they played us in our building. We found a way to win, which was great, but we know we got a hard game here in front of us tonight, and we're gonna have to be ready.
You said no one deserves to come out. Does that mean no lineup changes tonight?
Yeah, same lineup. Yeah,
Same lineup?
yeah, all the way through.
Exactly. You're about a third away into this season now. I don't know if there's a point where you necessarily get a sense of what a team's all about or a sense of how a team is gelling, but do you feel good about where this squad is through some of the ups and downs, some of the things you've learned so far? Are you starting to get a sense of what this group is?
Yeah, I think I have a real good grasp on what our identity is, what we need to be. I think they know it. I don't think there's any secret there, how we have to play. But, you know, from week to week, it's going to change too, and ebbs and flows. And we've talked about road performance versus home. And there's always things you're trying to tighten up, button up. And you know, we're just chipping away at it. And it's like you plug 1 or 2 holes, and there seems to be another 1 or 2 that you want to get better at. So that's a season, you know. And then you add on it all the other factors of whether there's injuries and sickness and all that stuff. You deal with that day. It really, whatever's in front of us that day, that's what we got to deal with, and we're trying to help them.
Yeah, you've got such a young team, so many guys in new spots, including yourself, essentially. Did you come into the season with a lot of question marks in your mind, or are you starting to see those answered, or is it just the way that whenever you have a young team, you're just going to naturally have things that kind of get figured out as the year goes by?
Yeah, there was lots of question marks. There's no question as far as, you know, we talked about it how many times in camp about opportunity for guys, and from the D, the forwards, and the youth, and different guys. So, and that's changing all the time too. You know, we've stuck with lines for early in the season for a while. Then we got a little bit scrambled up there, and you know, and that's evolving also. And some lines have gelled. You know, you look at the Corrali line; they've been together for a long time, and they found a real good role for themselves. And so, yeah, you're going to find some stuff out about your team, individuals, some guys. And the grind of a season, we're in it right now. Like I said, about a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago, where we started hitting the road here, it really starts to grind away at guys. And the schedule catches up to you. The amount of games catch up to you. And so it's interesting to watch guys, how they fight through it. That, I think there's a lot to learn through that, and see the guys that are able to, you know, you're going to have to manage your game some of these nights when you don't have the energy. You have to find a way. You don't get the energy of the crowd at home. You have to do it on the road too. So there's lots to sort through still now, and yes, we found out a lot, but there's lots more to learn.
What kind of reports did you get on Line A after practice in terms of his injury? Everything go well?
See, I no red flags. No news is good news, right? So nobody came running to me and said he was hurt. So, you know, again, it's something we got to make sure we're cognizant of, and make sure we don't push too hard. I think he's excited to get on the ice. So yesterday wasn't a lot of contact though either. It was more up and down and just kind of get the guys rolling. So we'll just monitor every day, and I'll get the medical reports, and we'll see where we're at.
Your power play has kept chugging on without him, but can you say how much you've missed him over on that left?
Yeah, would Washington miss Ovechkin? I mean, you know, it's that type of shot. It's a one and done shooter that, of course, you miss. But you know, guys have filled in, and they've tried to do the job and done it fairly well here. You know, so not always pretty, but you know, we only seem to get one or two a night, so we just try and make use of what we get.